Hey, what's going on this week?
Hey, let me show you. Hey guys, welcome to this week's edition of Monday Memos. So for the EDR volume, we've been sustaining around 80 patients a day, and we've been admitting into our CDU around 3 patients a day. So thank you guys for all your hard work with that. I wanted to start off by letting you guys know about a change that is going to be coming in May. We are going to be, across the Adventist Health System, standardizing the types of IV catheters that we use. Now, while the change sounds scary, I have a lot of great positive things that I'm going to let you guys know that these catheters are going to provide for us and our patients. So the first thing is that we're going to be moving to a passive device. What does a passive device mean? It means that you as a nurse do not have to push any buttons to retract the needle. It's going to retract on its own, leading to less needle sticks. The other thing is the bevel on this catheter is a lot sharper, so that's going to be less pain to our patients, and especially thinking about our pediatric population that we do service here at Winter Garden. The other thing is it has 2 dual flash chambers that you can see, so you know that you are in the vein. And with the dual flash chambers, one of them does screw off at the end, and then you can also perform eye-stats and AccuChecks with this. So it's one less syringe you have to pull or one less needle stick to the patient. The catheter itself is a lot more flexible and then less irritating to the veins and to the patient. And when the catheter is in the AC, it doesn't get stuck in a bent position. If the patient bends their arms, it goes back to its natural straight position. So you don't have to worry about it getting kinked. Your pump's going to be going off less times. And that's pretty much it with that. So that is coming in May, and we're going to have B-Braun reps on site to help us educate with these catheters. They're going to be watching us do needle sticks. They're going to be walking us through the process and getting us comfortable with this new device. Please ask myself, Jessica, or any of the A&Ms if you guys have any questions with this. Change can be scary, but like I said, we're all going to be there with each other, and with all the positive things that it's going to have for our patients, we're excited for this. Next week is lab week, and I'm going to have Rada walk you guys through the lab and show you guys what happens when you guys press send on the tube station to send a sample over.
Hi, my name is Rada. I'm the lab leader here at the Florida Hospital Winter Garden Laboratory, and I wanted to talk to you today about spinal fluid. Spinal fluid are one of those things that are super stat here in the laboratory. We need to get to it right away because cells in the fluid start to degrade over time, and that makes it harder for us to get an accurate count. When spinal fluids come in, if there's only one person here in the laboratory, we're basically devoted to it because counting on the microscope takes quite a bit of time and focus. In those rare cases that it does come in when we're here alone, it might delay our ability to be able to get to the other tubes, dropping from the tube station some of the other things, and they might have to wait for a few minutes while we complete this count. In those times, I'll make sure to contact your A&M, so just let them know this is what I'll be doing for a few minutes and I might not be able to get to the other things. Counting on the microscope takes a little bit of time because we're counting these little grids in our little microtuner while here. There's a total of 81 grids in all, and we've got to go through each grid and count the number of white blood cells and the number of red blood cells that we see. That's why the cell count can take so much time and really takes all of our focus in that moment. The other things that we do with the spinal fluid is we'll put an aliquot of it onto our analyzer over here to do the total protein and the glucose. And then we take another aliquot and do a gram stain. And while that gram stain is drying, we'll usually do our counts, and then we'll have to physically stain our gram stain and read that right after our count. So it does take a lot of hands-on for these samples to be processed, and it takes a lot of time for us to sit here at the scope counting and reading stains.
Just a reminder when it comes to discharge back timing, make sure that we use the time that the nurse has written on the form that all the discharge instructions and education has been given. So we're not going to use the number at the bottom of the form when it was printed. We're going to use the time that the nurse wrote in as her being done completing the discharge instructions with the patient and the family. All right, I'm going to end this week's edition of Monday Memos on a real positive note, our patient experience scores. Yay! So for the last report out that went out, I've attached to this edition of Monday Memo, so you guys can look at it when you have more time. But I do want to highlight the nurses informing about delays and treatments that are happening. So back in January, we were at 88th percentile. As of the last week, we are in the 94th percentile. So that's a big accomplishment, and you guys have been really putting intentional work into your communication board, frequent visiting, and then also the bedside introduction. So you guys can see that everything that you guys are putting work in and giving to your patients, they're appreciating it, and they're sending in more and more thank you notes and personalized letters, so you guys should all be super proud of yourselves. Well, that's all I have for you guys on this week's edition of Monday Memos.